Hey, it's Tim Glom here at Audience Sherpa, and we get asked a lot when we try and explain what we do. What is audience development and consumer engagement, and what does that really mean, and how does it affect my bottom line? So in this video, I want to, as quickly as possible, but thoroughly, show you what we do, how we engage audiences from a front-end consumer perspective, what a consumer journey looks like through quote-unquote digital experiences, and then what really does that matter for the brand? How do we drive that to the bottom line? What do we do with the data, the insights, and the engagements? So I'm going to use, it's January 5th, and I'm going to use an experience that's in market for one of our clients, Excalibur Crossbow. Excalibur Crossbow is a ton of people in their database. I can't give away real numbers, but a ton of people in their database. And they wanted to go out and ask some really important questions to drive more engagement and understand their audience and the sales opportunities for each individual person that might be in their database, as well as other people that aren't in the database. They want to bring them in, new eyeballs, understand them, and then make them sales, make offers in the right channels. So right now, Excalibur Crossbow is running an 8-day giveaway called the ATA Live Giveaway. ATA is Archery Trade Association. It's a huge trade show where they'll be launching new products. So in anticipation of that new product, this new crossbow, they've basically said, win a new crossbow, winner announced from the ATA show. People know it's very short term. Hey, and this is an email that they sent to their existing database. So even though they're not getting new eyeballs by doing this, they are getting more context and more information out of their existing engaged customers. So the email was sent to tens of thousands of people. Win a new crossbow. We'll announce it live on the 10th. Simply update your information on record to register to win. We'll never sell your information. We just want to make better products and give you awesome personalized offers. So that's the call to action. That's the value add and chance to win a bow. So when they click update my info and register to win, they land here. Just a really simple, not super jazzy on this particular campaign, but they land at Excalibur Crossbow's website on this particular page where they can get started. And this is the experience. It's a simple embeddable microsite, basically, where you ask really strategic questions where the answers we can use to, again, segment, make offers, and I'll show you that in a second. So they're asking really intelligent questions like, what's your preferred method of take? Are you a crossbow, shotgun, etc.? Want to make sure that the audience is engaged, or should they be, selling them other products? Which brand do you currently own? Well, because this is sent to the Excalibur database, a lot of the answers are going to be Excalibur, and I'll show you that in a second. Other things like, what's the most important attribute when buying a crossbow? Excalibur knows that their engineers can make products all day long based on their capabilities, but if they don't align those products with the actual market, what people care about, then they're just making products and they're missing the mark. So it's really good to get a little bit of market research to say, hey, is accuracy the number one thing? Let's see what people answer here, because that's what our brand's all about. And you could ask 20 questions, 30 questions. You can actually have people write in because it's awesome. That's why I'm buying the bow I'm going to buy. But you'll see here, which crossbow brand do you plan to purchase next? Then I'll show you how they can understand if people who own Excalibur but say they plan to buy a competing product, how we can actually win those people back and make sure that they don't convert, because retaining a customer is much less expensive than acquiring a new one. Anyway, other strategic questions here. When will you most likely make your next purchase? That's great from a timing perspective. Who do we focus on first? Who do we wait another 6 months or so before we really get aggressive on offers? Where do you plan to make your next crossbow purchase? Everyone's struggling with what channel works. With online and e-com, do we disrupt our local dealers, the people that, the independent dealers that we support, gun dealerships? Is that a channel we should get into? Or large retail, big box, Cabela's, Bass Pro, Dick's, etc. So very quickly we can understand which channel is each individual entrant really interested in. How much do you plan to spend on your next crossbow? Really great way to understand, are they at the beginning? Are they, an entry level, or are they premium client? Then the last page they have here, I know this seems like a lot, but I think you'll be impressed at how many people took this in the last 2 days since we launched it. How many days do you hunt per year? Now you're getting into their psyche. What do they do? What's their lifestyle like when they use our products? How many miles do you travel? That can, again, help product development. Do we need to create a product which is very slim, compact, easy to travel with? Or this might tell me, hey, look, this person's serious. They travel 250 miles plus from their house. Lastly, how many people in your household hunt? Do our products, and if you buy them, can that be stretched across the entire family? Is it a better value if your whole family is hunting, or is this just something you're going to use? Lastly, we're just asking them to, verify if they've changed their name, their email address, their postal code, anything like that. They can do that. And it's very simple. It's all autofill. I didn't just do any trickery or anything there. And then they can, yes, send me more sweepstakes. This is a back-end sandbox you're looking at. This would be formatted a little nicer. And then the terms and conditions, remember, this is a sweepstakes. So we can go see what those terms and conditions are. When they enter, we give them a confirmation. You're entered, look for an email on January 9th so that, we have this live launch. And then this great little viral pop-up. Hey, Tim, you can share this. This is cool. And I just shared this to my Facebook page. People, my friends and family can see that they have a chance to win a crossbow. We've seen upwards of 40% of all sweepstakes entries when this viral loop is turned on. Sometimes you'll see as many as 40% of your entries in that sweepstakes come from that social loop. You may have gotten it to somebody in your database. Remember, I got an email. That's how I got to this. I'm not a new eyeball or a new person in their database. But when I share that to social, there's a good chance a few of my friends are going to take it and they are new eyeballs. That's the real social loop that's happening here. All right. So I wasted some time taking you through the journey just so you could feel what it looked like. It was pretty heavy, but again, we knew this was an engaged audience. They're already in our database. We told them in an email, hey, please update your registration, your information. That's why we were able to get away with a few extra questions than normal. So what's it look like? Well, here's a real-time results. It says 7 days, but we've only been running this for 2. We've had about 8,400 people take this, and this is just one portion of the results. But very quickly, you can visually see, hey, I'm resonating with the right people. Most of the audience that took this so far are crossbow audience. But these rifle guys, how can I convert them into a crossbow? Because remember, rifle season, they might be able to hunt with rifle, but crossbow is a different season. They might be able to get an extra tag. How can I tell them that? And then just other answers. You saw the questions, so I'm not going to dig deep into this, but it is interesting to see, okay, these are the people that said they're going to buy in the first half of 2019. Let's get back to them very, very quickly. Tim, can you tell me who these 366 people are, and can we make them an offer right now? Again, these are people that own Excalibur or say they currently own it. These are people that say they're going to purchase other bows. This is all opportunity. If somebody said they're not buying an Excalibur in the future, everyone else is someone you need to be talking to and make sure that they're buying your product. Again, those channels online, pretty big audience. So anyway, all of this stuff happens in real time. We can give you a real-time report if your sweepstakes was running for a day, a week, a month, all year. These numbers and these reports can come in. So how is all of this tangible? What do you do with this? Well, this is where we dump into our CRM. So we're actually managing all of these people. We're tagging them. We're segmenting them. If you said you buy online and you're going to buy an Excalibur and you're going to buy that in the next 6 months, I can put you in that bucket. I can literally create hundreds, if not thousands, of different buckets to put you in. And maybe you have different creative for that. So let's look at one of these. We use a tag class, the way we manage people. So you'll see here our tag class 75. People that are planning to purchase a crossbow and which channel they will purchase it in. So we have, again, multiple sweeps forms that are dumping all into this one bucket. And right now the opportunity is, hey, there are 3,447 people that said they're going to buy their next crossbow online and have it shipped to them. Well, let's go look at them. So we literally can dig into our CRM. Again, that was at a high level, just looking at people in an aggregate number. But now we can actually look at people. We can start to understand what else do we have about them. So imagine if we created segments, you're not going to look through 400,000 individual records. But if you created a subset of, again, like people, Tim, tell me the people that are going to buy in the next 6 months, they're going to buy online and they're going to spend up to $1,200. Put them together and let's understand who they are. And you can go in here and see a little bit of their qualitative data. Like, the reason here's somebody that's going to buy a 10 point. That's a competing brand to Excalibur. They plan to buy a 10-point bow because that bow is lightweight, has good speed and great accuracy. Well, so does Excalibur. So why aren't we reaching out right now to Scott Limming and literally say, hey, Scott, we're going to make you the best offer we've ever made. You told us that you're planning on buying a 10-point because of accuracy. Did you see this story? Do you know that we are the most accurate bow on the planet, and here are the results? So your marketing can be one-to-one, and this is all automated. You don't have to write individual emails. Everything's through triggers, automations, and segmentation. And that's what we do really, really well. But right now I'm literally looking at Scott, and I can understand where he lives. I could send him to a local dealer if I wanted, but remember, he said he wants to buy online. So maybe I'm just going to send him an offer. He currently doesn't own a crossbow, but says he's going to plan to buy a 10-point, and he cares about accuracy. So again, how can I take this information? How can I, he's going to buy a $400 to $800 product. Great. Don't sell him our marquee $1,600 product. Sell him something that's entry level. He travels a ton to hunt. 2 people in his household hunt. So if we can prove that this is a good value and people can share the crossbow, it fits his son and him, it's interchangeable, whatever the product is, we can tell that story to him. He hunts quite a bit. This guy must take some vacation to go hunt. And these are, he's within 50 miles of Sweeney Sports. That's one of our local archery dealers, as well as Wilderness Archery. So, and we can see over here recent activities. So you can see that we've sent him a ton of information. We sent him another giveaway in December. We sent him a campaign to take 50% off of our merch. He opened this campaign of this current sweepstakes, and he clicked the link and he converted and he visited our site. So there's a lot of things that we can do. We can understand these people. Everything you see can be automated. If we strategically map out a journey flow and have the right creative and et cetera ready to go, we can get these people into that flow. The other thing you can do with this, when we started to look at, again, 3,400 people that said they're going to buy online, we can export this data and load their email addresses or IP addresses into a consumer data platform or a DSP, like a demand side media platform. You could load this to Google Audiences and create custom audiences. That way you're not spending money talking about speed when you know those people actually care about accuracy. Or in this case, you're not telling them to go to Cabela's and buy your product because they already told you they want to buy online. So send them an ad or an email. First, we would email them back and say, here's your offer. And click here to buy now. And let's look at that because we have quite a few things that we can do. We'll show you some examples of how after people have taken sweepstakes, and remember, we always want to engage. We want them constantly taking sweepstakes and entering different answers to different questions. We have up to 155 different profile and data points on people. You'll see here, I'm just showing a few as I just scroll right to left, but we have up to 155 in our database for this particular client. But what do we do with that? So number one, here's another example. Their sister company, Bowtech, they did a sweepstakes and they asked people, what bow do you own? And Matthews Archery is a competing brand. So we were able to instantly, after they entered and answered that question, send them a very specific personalized email that said, hey, the Triax, which was a product released by Matthews, and the Realm, a product released by Bowtech, the brand that was sending you the email, we got right to the nitty gritty. If we know you own the Triax, we told you exactly why. And we had a piece of content, a video that literally was a head-to-head challenge. So instead of using just big, superfluous, hey, our brand's really good, we have accurate bows, they're fast, we could literally talk specifically and erode their confidence on the product they owned and hopefully convert them into our product. So another instance of that, personalization. We had over 78,000 people take a sweepstakes to enter or win a hunt. And midway through that, we sent some of the poll results. So at that point, we had 50,000 archers go through this and answer questions. You see the personalization in the reach back email and personalization here. In fact, you told us you shoot a Matthews. So again, we're trying to resonate. We're trying to, make sure that they know, hey, we listened when we asked those questions, see the results now. And again, when they click to see the results, they saw what other Matthews owners and other competitors' owners were saying about this new bow. And then the Holy Grail. One was, if I pull this one up, we actually were sending back personalized offers. So now you could get into your local dealer and we said, hey, Do you want $50 from Bowtech today? Get into your local dealer. You told us you shoot a Bass Pro Shops bow, again, a competing brand, and we're willing to give you an instant $50 if you test drive and purchase a bow. So we gave them a unique code, which was incredibly easy, which meant it was totally trackable. If they went into their local dealer and they actually purchased the bow with this code, they got their $50 off. We actually knew who was converting, not just random people. So it was, again, a one-to-one trail, and we actually can track that revenue. Now, this is a $50 offer, but imagine if we actually wanted to give you $100. Well, we only gave you $50 because you said you had a Bass Pro bow, and we know that was kind of low end. Or really what was behind that one was, and again, these are just sample emails I'm pulling up. You told us that you were going to buy immediately. You said you were going to buy in the next 6 months, so that's why we only offered you $50. Well, this particular person, this instance, he got $100 off. Well, that's because he said, I just bought a bow last year and I'm not planning to buy another one for 3 years. Well, tell you what, raise that incentive. Let's do what we can, what our budget allows. Let's make unique, personalized offers based on the answers this particular person gave me. And that's what's really important here is, we look at numbers and their aggregate amounts of groups of people. But when it really comes down to it, we can send this email or an SMS with this offer that's completely trackable. And you can imagine how well this works when this code is redeemed in an online cart right then and there. So again, you could send this person an ad and say you can get $100 off, click here. But I'll pose the question of what would you do if you could understand not only your audience, your engaged consumers, how could you email them a sweepstakes or a survey and get them to answer some questions, learn more about your existing engaged consumers. But how do you do things like this? How do you go out to your ambassadors where you're getting new ones? So this current sweepstakes we started with, Excalibur, they have a dozen ambassadors out there, influencers that are out there promoting this. And they're creating videos and telling people, hey, Excalibur Crossbow's giving away a bow, link in bio. Same thing, Canada in the Rough. This is another ambassador. Hit the link in our bio to enter to win. And what's really cool is we can tell you Canada in the Rough in 2 days has already generated 1.8, 1,800 entries. So you can weight your ambassadors or your marketing. If you're doing paid marketing, if you're doing Pinterest ads, Facebook ads, YouTube ads, we can actually track those channels and the incoming traffic to say, hey, the $2,500 you spent on Google actually generated 10,000 entries, whatever it might be. We're tracking all of that for you. So not only do you know who your most important influencers are, which paid channels, which organic channels are actually driving, but all of this brings new eyeballs into your database. And that's the key. If you're constantly growing the depth of your database, how many people are in it, that's great. But if you're also going wide by asking a lot of questions like this, now you're going wide, right? And you saw how we could scale left to right in our database and start to see people and understand all the different things. So left to right is the width of your database, the context, and there's, I could show you 155 different things here. I could pull up all kinds of different things that we've already asked and we're tracking. How do you use all this information to make better offers, to win new customers, to retain your existing customers? Email channels, local dealers. We send hundreds of emails based on geo to local independent dealers for our brands because we know we need to drive people, again, into a local archery dealership. Well, if I know your postal code, which I do on every single person, this is Canada, I know exactly what dealer to send them to. I can send them in a code or an incentive or a discount, or even just get them in there. Just tell them to go at the least. So that's everything that happens from these sweepstakes. That's the top down in this funnel. So think, what would you do if you could ask of your existing database? What would you do if you pivoted some of your paid marketing spend to not just promote your products, but say, hey, enter to win a free hunt, and we'll give you a bow. So maybe they're not ready to buy, but if you can get them to answer when they're ready to buy or what they're going to buy or how much are they going to spend, you're better off. This data will help you sleep better at night. And by the way, every dollar you outspend in your digital marketing right now, you're getting clicks. Like, what is a good click report? It's just a metric that happened in the past. These ads had so many clicks. Maybe they're coming to your website. Maybe you can track that e-com revenue, and that's great, and you feel good and you're actually generating revenue. But what if a lot of those clicks actually just gave you some information? If they took that poll, if they actually answered some questions, what would happen there? Would that be a better paid media spend if somebody gave you their email address, their name, their postal, and a little bit of context around the products they like, the lifestyle they live, etc.? So start thinking about what questions and answers you'd use and how you would use that to drive your business forward in your dealer channels, your e-com channels, in your distributor and retail channels, etc. Long-winded, but 20 minutes. Thanks for watching.